From the isolating and harshly lit nightscape of Drive to the conflict of morality in Good Time, from the brutalist neon future of Blade Runner to the descent into madness that Nightcrawler portrays. These films don't appear to be correlated on surface level, however, they all fall under a certain style that, in my opinion, is not discussed enough. Gritty storylines that make you question right and wrong, set in a neon pop urban cityscape to a loud electronic score. Let's delve in to the brilliant subgenre that is neon noir. Like a Marvel origin story, we need to go back in time to what inspired it all, to the mother of noir, film noir. Retrospectively named by French critic Nino Frank, the film noir, dark film, stood out as a distinct style. Starting to make its debut in the 1930s, these hard-boiled crime fictions started popping up all over Hollywood. Formed by the societal unrest in America following the Great Depression and later World War II, these films reflected the uncertainty and pessimism of their audience at the time. Taking direct influence from artistic styles such as French poetic realism, Italian neorealism, and most notably, German expressionism, which, in a similar way, communicated the growing anxieties in Germany post-World War I and processing the audience's conflicted emotions. Cementing the visual use of low-key lighting in cinema, this high-contrast lighting helped portray the struggle of good and bad, dark and light, the duality of life. And with noir came the unmistakable character tropes of film noir. The troubled anti-hero, cynical male protagonist that lacks all the traditional qualities of a hero, disillusioned with an abundance of tragic flaws and internally conflicted with their own ambiguous moral code. Alienated from society, these main characters are not the ones we're used to. They're caught up with their own dark past and fatalistic outlook, which shape them and their own ethical code that often overlooks the true concern for fellow man. A hard-boiled detective, someone of authority, that being a cop, etc., who exploits their position of power for corrupt intentions, driven by the desire of money and sex, skewing their integrity to the cause and weaving a complex web of deception. These characters can also be the anti-hero of the film, such as Sam Spade in The Maltese Falcon, searching for his partner's murderer, whilst admitting that he's only doing so because it is his duty to do so. A cunning femme fatale, a fatal woman, notably as important as the anti-hero. These characters go hand in hand and are integral to the plot. Mysterious, seductive, and manipulative, they are what drive the narrative forward, tricking the protagonist into some unlawful deed, be that murder or a crime of passion. Ruthless, fiercely independent and duplicitous, always involved in danger, these women lure men down a dark trajectory to compromising situations for their own personal gain. Unfortunately, as these films started being produced, the Hays censorship code came into being. It restricted film from portraying explicit violence, sexuality, and nudity. These were inherent themes of pulp fictions that they were based on, meaning that the genre developed around these limitations, being creative with their use of mystery and storytelling. Something about this style resonated with audiences at the time. The themes of fatalism, pessimism, and even the struggle for survival, reflecting societal greed, corruption, and cynicism. As people search for answers in their own morality, they look to these gritty, dark stories for escapism while relating to the troubled characters. Post-1950s, with colour TVs, classic film noir was dead. Or so people thought. The void left by film noir was being felt, and into this space a new evolution of the style emerged. The emergence of neo-noir. A revival started to develop in the late 60s, where a new era of crime fiction thrillers were being made in the same gritty style as its noir predecessor, relating to the current affairs of the time, such as life after the Vietnam War, the Watergate scandal, and the threat of Cold War. Noir reflected society's distrust of the people in power.
I have never been a quitter.
And with this, these films delve deeper into the rabbit hole of morality, showing you the seedy underbelly of society, leaving you questioning the good of man. The line between film noir and neo-noir are strongly blurred, as neo-noir is just really a continuation of this style. Chinatown is credited as an early masterpiece of neo-noir, revisiting the hard-boiled detective and femme fatale archetypes, whilst uncovering mysteries and discovering mass corruption, along with Point Blank for incorporating techniques from French New Wave with its use of lighting and colour, and using non-linear plot to give an intense mystery. However, as time went on, these contemporary noir films started to stray further from where they started, introducing elements from anything such as comedy in The Nice Guys to horror in Seven, and adapting the settings in which the stories take place, such as a school in Brick or a dystopian future such as Blade Runner. It all revolves around the same framework which film noir was unconsciously built around, whilst experimenting with new themes and topics. So, what attributes make a film neo-noir? As you can see, a lot of these carry on from film noir, but finally being able to include visuals of violence, sex and nudity as the censorship ended in the 50s, reinventing trope characters such as the anti-heroes becoming darker and the introduction of femme fatales. Memento took a twist on classic noir, reinstating the lonely, tortured protagonist to a new level, and even he can't trust his own narrative, and he ends up with no mercy for the people that he's killed in the process of uncovering his wife's murderer, just powered by his own view of justice. No Country for Old Men questions morality, just like a classic noir, yet refusing to conform to Hollywood traditions while keeping the audience on the edge of their seat. Inspired by crime fiction magazines, Pulp Fiction follows multiple intertwined stories that portray dark crime underbelly of LA and the corruption and deceit that builds on. Yet, at times humouring how desensitised to violence and drugs people can get when involved in organised crime. Focusing more on themes of nihilism and fatalism, The Big Lebowski can even be categorised as a parody noir due to using conventional traits in a unique way. The protagonist of The Dude, who is not a police officer but rather a deadbeat unemployed pothead who accidentally gets himself involved in a kidnapping. So, isn't the style neo-noir just a part of neo-noir? Or is it the style adapting with the times? Well, yeah. However, it's not to be overlooked. Using the harsh neon lighting, metropolis settings, and discussing themes of society's future with technology and capitalism, reinterpreting these classic stories while using groundbreaking narrative techniques, delving deeper and darker into the human psyche, tormenting these anti-heroes, showing how they're alienated, trying to process their own morality. Neo-noir can be viewed as a brother to neo-noir. With Blade Runner and Taxi Driver being two major films in this style from the 80s, it has initiated many others like Blue Velvet, Thief and Heat, morphing into more distorted versions of noirs like Nightcrawler that depicts a secluded guy's descent into madness while doing anything to pursue his twisted career as a crime photojournalist. Or the harsh neon cityscape and bold electric score of Drive, spinning archetypes on its head in They Clone Tyrone with strong visualizations of lighting and colour. In neo-noir, there is sometimes a lack of a dirty cop, corrupt detective, an all-round bad guy. Maybe this is because instead of a clear light and dark side, duality is all contained within the anti-heroes themselves. The animated genre hasn't seen distinctly neo-noir productions, but in some brilliant series and films they take certain aspects of the style. Akira, typified by its rain-soaked streets lit by the glow of neon signs, focused on greed in the government and a dystopian future, hitting real thought-provoking themes. Into the Spider-Verse, using vivid neon colour script, harsh contrasts and Dutch angles to portray a new, more real Spider-Man that falls more into the anti-hero trope. There may be, in my opinion, a lack of neo-noir animations, yet I think this is a space that can push the genre forward once again, giving more abstract visuals with lighting and shade, providing a more dreamlike liminal spaces, keeping up with the current themes of technology and mankind while boiling back to the repetitions of societal needs and showing the duality of the human psyche. Noir is here to stay.